Greetings, Taurus and Taurus rising. This is your Western forecast for February 2025. I have lots of good news. The new moon, which I always start with, is in Aquarius. That is 10 signs past Taurus, which is the career sector. The 10th house is your professional status and reputation. So there's a real spotlight on your career, and this will impact you throughout February. The new moon actually is January the 29th, but we have a new moon every 4 weeks, and the new moon, whatever sign it's in, is where your attention is being drawn to for your sign, your horoscope. This new moon is in harmony or a trine with Jupiter, expansive, optimistic, lucky Jupiter. So with that Jupiterian expansive energy influencing the new moon, there's going to be a lot of hope and optimism in general for the whole world. With Jupiter, it could be with teaching to becoming a student. So Jupiter has a lot to do with seeking knowledge and education. It's also the planet we look to for long distance traveling. But it's a lot of hope and optimism. And it's influencing the new moon, which is impacting you throughout February. Plus, we have Mars is going direct on February the 23rd. It went retrograde December the 6th, once every 2 years. And Jupiter has been retrograde since about October the 8th last year, and is going direct February the 4th. In the sign of Gemini, and will remain in Gemini until June the 9th, at which point it moves into Cancer. Jupiter goes through all the signs every 12 years, and Mars goes through all the signs every 2 years. Now, before I break down how the Jupiter is going to go direct, starting to bring more opportunity, more luck, more advancement in your second house of income. And Mars is going to go direct in your third house of selling and learning and marketing. But before I break all that down and look at Venus, which is slowing down and intensifying, and the sun will leave Aquarius and move into Pisces. Before I start breaking down this in more detail, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right, so the first 2.5 weeks, the sun remains in Aquarius, in your 10th house of careers. But the new moon is holding that career sector as a major focus and emphasis to the very end of February. But on February the 18th, the sun moves into Pisces for 4 weeks. Now, it's not taking away that Aquarius energy in your career sector, but it's starting to bring in more interest. And the 11th house, with all this career emphasis, the 11th house might be that you're feeling really solid and optimistic, especially because of the Jupiter, with career matters. So we bring in the sun in Pisces at the end of the month, and the 11th house energy can focus on making a 5-year plan, long-range goals. The 11th house with career matters could be getting involved with more group activities, organizations. You might also, with your career, get involved with a team effort to be more productive with attaining your career. But the 11th house is friendships, but that falls into networking, really expanding your social circle. So your career aspirations through February. By February the 18th, so the last part of February, now you could be taking that business career emphasis and getting involved with more organizations. But that goes along with doing a lot more networking. Now, Mars is the ambitious, assertive planet. It's been retrograde once every 2 years from December the 6th. Around the beginning of January, it began in retrograde in Leo, but at the beginning of January, it retrograded back into Cancer. And it will remain in Cancer until April the 17th. Now, Cancer, so it's going to be retrograde until all of January till February the 23rd in Cancer. Cancer is 3 signs past Taurus. So the third house sector has a lot to do with learning, selling, traveling, marketing. Now, this siblings, it's the third house of siblings, and with Mars retrograde, there might be more resentment, intentions, and irritabilities January through February 23rd. But then you release the resentments, and you start maybe being more active, more playful, going on trips with a sibling. But on February the 23rd, when that Mars stops being retrograde, that retrograde can make you feel like it's taking so much harder to get the same results done. Everything seems more sluggish, more irritable, more frustrating with Mars in retrograde. But February 23rd, it starts to be released. And you're starting to really have more focus, more drive and ambition with third house matters. Now, that might be being very motivated, Mars going direct, with learning, taking classes, getting new job skills. That could be the third house. Sales. If you're working in sales might have been very sluggish January till February 23rd. But then when it goes direct, it's like being shot out of a cannon, and you could be busier than ever with sales. The third house is also with publishing and marketing and promoting. So there's a lot of really taking off, and then having the new moon in the 10th house of career matters. By the end of the month, you could start becoming very busy with selling, with marketing, with new job skills, which reminds me, the third house of communications is also where we would look to, and it's the third house of sales, is selling yourself in a job interview, or if you are trying to, sell your business to, your projects to other companies. So you're going to be more forceful, more confident to make the sales or to promote yourself and do well with job interviews after February the 23rd, which also goes along with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of prosperity, optimism, luck. It's the traveling planet, it's the educational planet. So Jupiter went retrograde October the 8th last year in Gemini. February the 4th, it goes direct. So when Jupiter is retrograde, all the promises and all the hopes of Jupiter seem to be smaller or sluggish or delayed. Come February the 4th, it releases all that optimism and luck through June the 9th. But Jupiter in Gemini, Gemini is the sign after Taurus. And the second sector is the sector of income. So the Jupiter going direct is going to start bringing you more opportunities to increase your income, which goes along fantastically with February being a major emphasis with the new moon in your career sector being trine by Jupiter. A lot of you will get a promotion, or some of you might finally be getting a much better job to make more money. And with Mars in the third going direct, maybe it's from sales, maybe it's selling yourself to get the job, or doing a lot of promotion and marketing. Really focus on your career. Venus is the planet of love and creativity. It's going into Aries on February the 4th until March the 27th. Now, when Venus is in Aries, it is in the sign prior to Taurus, or the shadow sector, or the 12th house sector. So when Venus is in the 12th house, now it's going to go retrograde on the March the 1st through April the 11th. And in general, Venus is in retrograde, a time of testing relationships, reevaluating relationships, or even your creative aspirations, where you could be really rethinking where all this is going. But in February, with Venus, is the ruler of Taurus. So it really impacts you in a very personal way, but it's in the shadow sector, which this could mean that socially, because Venus can be love and friendships and romance, when it's in the 12th house, you may be having more of a low profile. Maybe it's because you're so busy with career, you don't have the time or maybe the energy to be as sociable as you once were. Now, this could be very favorable in the 12th house for spiritual practices. The 12th house is introspection, meditation, going deep within. Venus is that planet of desire. But whether this is creatively in the 12th house, you could be building and developing a creative project. You could be incubating creative ideas to be promoted in a later date. So the new moon, January the 29th, impacting you throughout February in your career sector, that could bring you more focus on your professional reputation. Some of you, there might be a major spotlight on your career. Some of you, that could be fame, or that could be getting a lot more recognition or more leadership. But 2 weeks after the new moon is always a full moon. And this full moon will be in Leo on February the 12th. So those few days around the 12th, the full moon is when everything comes to light at this time of culmination. The 4th house could be family, could be your living situation, real estate. Now, this full moon is squaring or forming a 90-degree angle to unexpected, shocking, exciting Uranus. So there might be an unexpected event in the family or in your home. Some of you, it might be an unexpected decision about moving or buying some property. So a lot of unexpected breakthrough energies around family matters, around home, real estate matters. But overall, this is a fantastic month, February, to start advancing in your career, to make more money, and you're going to start being very active and busy with lots of networking. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.